Mesdames et messieurs, en vos titres et qualités, je suis ravie de vous accueillir dans ce magnifique bâtiment du Palais des Académies pour ce séminaire sur les conditions.
Ladies and gentlemen, in your respective capacities, I am glad to welcome you in this wonderful building for a seminar on the working conditions of artists in Europe. As you know, it is headed by the EU-Belgium presidency.
L'indépendance de la Belgique.
This place has been the place of living of the Prince of Orange until Belgium independence in 1830, and in 1876 this place became the place where operated the Medicine Academy and then the Beaux-Arts Academy. So it seems a wonderful bridge, this building between the past and the present. As you know, we went through a number of important crises recently that shown us the resiliency of the cultural sector, but also its weaknesses. Therefore, making working conditions of artists better became a priority at European level, but also for the Brussels Wallonia Federation. We therefore are glad that we can bring our works to the table. We hope that this day will be fruitful for all the stakeholders in the arts world in Belgium, but also in the whole of Europe. We will have experts from the ground, at national level, and at EU level. We hope to shed light on the current state and of debates on the artists' working conditions in the EU and in the different member states. Thank you also for people who joined us online from abroad.
Le déroulé de l'après-midi, vous
We will delve into a series of topics today, and we will go back to this with my colleague Dubravka Jurisic. I hope I pronounced it quite well. In any case, she's from Creative FLIP, and she will be one of the moderators of our debate. Also, during the coffee break and the cocktail at the end of this working afternoon, you will have the possibility to discover in the building texts and drawings from French-speaking and German-speaking artists. They shared with us their aspirations and their visions with regards to the working conditions of artists. I hope you will be interested in that. I'd also like to thank all our co-workers and the wonderful work of German speakers, German community members, and French community members. Also, would like to thank the Belgium presidency for the help. I will not tell you much more for now because there will be a lot to talk about this afternoon. I wish you a wonderful working afternoon. Thank you.
Merci, Madame Bruffaut. Thank you, Jean, and thank you to the Fédération Wallonie-Bruxelles and the Belgian Council Presidency for the invitation to host this very important and timely seminar on working conditions of artists in Europe. I would like to greet our audience here at the beautiful Palais des Académies, but also to everyone who is watching us online across Europe via the live stream. As Jean already mentioned, my name is Dubravka Jurisic. I know it's a bit of a mouthful. I am from the Goethe Institute, and I'm the project manager of Creative Flip, which is an EU co-funded policy project supporting healthy and resilient ecosystem for the cultural and creative sectors through the work on topics such as access to finance, intellectual property rights, innovation, skills, transformation policies, but also working conditions. And one of the flagship initiatives of our project is the Creatives Unite platform. So we have gathered here today to discuss a very important topic of working conditions of artists in Europe through the lens of latest policy developments and initiatives, both at EU and national level, as well as through looking at specific actions and issues such as codes and measures of fair practices, and also the issue of gender equality in the cultural creative sector. This is in short an overview of the agenda we will have today through the 4 sessions we will have, and we look forward to discussing them with you. As we all know, the challenges of facing the culture and creative professionals and artists are not new. They are long-standing. It's been 44 years since the 1980 UNESCO recommendation concerning the status of the artist, which called upon member states to improve the professional, social, and economic status of the artists through the implementation of related policies and measures. And it is still very much valid to this day with monitoring mechanisms in place, and also because of the fact that the challenges are growing, evolving, and rising in number every day. Much has been done since then, especially in the sense of mobilizing the sector and raising awareness among the public and also among the policymakers about the seriousness and unsustainability of the current of the conditions, both working and living, in which the cultural creative professionals are in. But it was the COVID-19 pandemic which has really brought this question, or we could say even catapulted it to the top of the policy agenda. The pandemic has revealed both the intrinsic value as well as the vulnerability of the cultural sector. The value of cultural and creative sector for our societies, be it in economic, social, health, well-being, democratic point of view, is really immeasurable, and it has been receiving more and more recognition. But the situation is still quite, we could say, critical for the sector. However, looking at the silver lining, the crisis has also acted as a catalyst for many initiatives, both at national and EU level. Several EU member states have started or revived previously ongoing debates and processes with a number of national initiatives which seek to improve the living and working conditions of artists. And we will be hearing about some of them later this afternoon with the examples from Belgium, Ireland, and Spain. We have also witnessed many developments at EU level with several important documents related to cultural recovery of Europe and artists' working conditions coming from the European Parliament, also many initiatives from the European Commission and also the Council level. We had a very important OMC working group on status and working conditions of artists, and the very important report which came out of it, as well as, for instance, the Voices of Culture structure dialogue between the culture creative sector and the European Commission, which is complementary to the OMC group. So with all these developments in place, it is extremely important that we use this momentum and ensure that the topic not only stays high on the agenda and the priority for the new Parliament and the European Commission, but that we also start walking the talk, as they say, through implementation of concrete policies, concrete measures, however small they may seem. They are all steps in the right direction. So this is, in a way, the context of what we will be discussing today. Now, despite the many measures that have been implemented since the crisis in support of the sector to try to help them in the recovery, we can definitely say that the sector has not fully recovered and bounced back. Most recent Creative Pulse survey conducted by Culture Action Europe and Pantea among close to 1,500 individuals and culture creative sector organizations has also painted a bit of a concerning picture. Even now, 68% of artists and cultural creative professionals work more than one job. We are talking about the people who have been participating in the survey. 34% of those are actually working outside of the culture creative sector, unfortunately. And almost half of them have reported or self-assessed that they work in poor working conditions. This has been contributed to a lack of uniform status and definition of artists and simply their atypical working conditions. And this is something that we have to work on a European level. But on a positive note, there seems to be quite an optimism from their side as well. So over 90% of them are also counting on the European Union as well to bring forth policies which will improve the situation, and even 96% of them support the widespread adoption of the EU-wide status of the artists.